And one of the things that I need to kind of help get things going a little bit quicker is a trailer. So my best friend let me borrow I'm gonna steal his trailer. Let me borrow this trailer. The wood on the bottom was completely rotten, and so what I'm gonna do as one of two things. One is a thank you for letting me borrow your trailer, and because I like projects. The boards were all rotten. I've never used a trailer. I've never backed up a trailer. So I figured, as a grown-ass man, it is time to learn. So here we go. Okay, what we're doing is redoing the trailer. I'm gonna go ahead and just redo this entire thing. So the problem I'm having starting out is these nails, screws, are just completely rusted in here. I am buffing down into the wood. So here's a good thing. So before, and then one-handed, obviously it's not done, but I'll buff that down. I'll spray some WD-40 in there, working my way all the way across. Now this board did lift up a little bit, so I was able to spray some WD-40 down in here, and then underneath as well. So I got those kind of sprayed and soaking. Now that I got that off, to try to get this one off, what I've been doing is going ahead and buffing down here. And that's just to get some of this dust and rust off. And then I'm buffing the some of the rust off the threads on the top and on the bottom. And then I'm gonna soak it down some more with that WD-40. So I'm using the buffer to grind down just the whole top of that, and it's pretty rotten, so get in there, let it do its thing, and I can even get to this one back there. All right, well, I've got two that broke off, so we used the handy blowtorch and just steam torch the hell out of it. Clean the threads as much as I could with the buffer, connected one of these bad boys, and then just kind of wiggled it, beat on it with a hammer, sprayed some more WD-40, and get that all working down in there. Now we got it loose, so I've got one more to do. I got all the screws out, so next thing is we're gonna kind of just sweep everything down, get all these little bits of wood out. Test. So I'm not looking for anything superior here. But what I do is a nice, kind of like a nice thin coat until I slowly build it up. I'm running it pretty fast and I want to see it. We're at Home Depot getting wood for our trailer. So we got wood. Now what I tried to do, anyone that knows Home Depot wood is Home Depot wood. So I went with really the tightest grain that I could find, and I wanted it kind of closer to the center, basically to get these arches in there, hoping that curve is going to give me the most support. Stain it as well. I'm just going to find like a, but if we look at these boards, I took quite a bit of time picking them out and selecting them from what's there. I probably spent 45 minutes picking 10 boards, right? I had to dig all the way to the bottom of the pile. There were a couple on top to get that type of grain that I wanted, but also making sure they're straight. So I just laid these down. There's one, it's one of these right here. One of these three, I can't tell, that has a little bit of a bow in it, which isn't a huge problem. But for the most part, just laying them all side by side, they are pretty straight. I'm actually surprised how straight they are. So taking a little bit of time picking out, the better of the quality wood that's there. Not really any cracks or anything like that. There's a couple knots. So I try to find some that don't have huge knots in them. Just try to get the best quality wood. I think that's going to make a big difference in time. So we'll find out. Well, I'm back from the car wash. So I used, basically kind of soaked it all down, and then I used a high pressure soap. Try to blast as much dirt and grease and all that stuff. I used the degreaser all over it, try to get it as clean as possible. And then now it's time to paint. I'm just doing a very quick mock up. So I went and pulled a tree. So normally what I'll do is I'll lay this flat and put like a book or something on it so it lays flat. It's also kind of windy out here. Once I have my base layer down, then I can put this on and I can spray, and then I start getting these patterns here. One side painted black, so I'm gonna do the inside of the frame and all that here. I'm just gonna do all that black. Just can't tell whatsoever, but I've got these got them stained, so we'll all right, so here we are, two very thick coats of a stain and poly seal. So this is gonna be my deck, and then all right, so we got the deck finished. So what we ended up having to do, I think we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 boards in to where we can basically put them in sideways, slide them over. What we ended up having to do on the front, it has this channel basically here, not the underneath part where the wood sits. So what I did is I just laid the wood on top of this channel and then stretched it down to the back. I didn't stretch any wood. Laid it back in the back. And basically what I did is all these boards I had to cut a little over a quarter. What is that? 3/8, probably 3/8, a max ½ an inch to get the boards to be able to go in there. And we ended up having to use a jacked it up. I had to bend the boards down, put them in, and then let the jack down, have it slide in. So let's see, just there. Unfortunately, this is support. We just cut this beam off. We're going to install the toolbox, and then I'm gonna make a very small, it's gonna be a pretty badass, but it's gonna be a small solar system that fits down in here. This is what we got so far. We're just gonna bolt this thing right on down.